There you go. Everything has an on switch, right? How's everyone today? Yeah? You like the sessions? Somebody came to me and be like, yeah, can I pull chairs from the other room here? Just like, it's full. But we're going to have fun today. Yesterday, who was here yesterday? Raise your hand. Okay, most of you. Okay, so I'm going to have an easy time because you already all like me. But what we're going to do today is a little bit different. Yesterday we talked a lot about AI agents and Smith OS and building cool stuff. I was really excited for that talk yesterday. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to give you just a bunch of growth hacks that I think you're going to find useful. If at least one of them is useful for you, maybe it can change your life. So that's my title slide. Just like yesterday, there's the QR code. It's the same document if you already have it. I did update it, and you can download this presentation from that document now too. It wasn't there yesterday. I didn't want you to run ahead. Sorry, I still saw a phone up. It will be there again at later slide. Okay, I'll give you guys a moment. I know it's like real gold in there. You don't want to miss it. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so you're only one meeting away from like changing your life. Maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's a job interview, maybe it's a pitch to an investor that finally says yes to you after saying no 50 times. There's going to be these things in your life that come around and they're really high stakes and you want to be ready. I want you to be ready for the next time that moment happens. And so we're going to show you something you can do to prepare. So here we have Dev. Is Dev in the audience by chance? I took that screenshot yesterday. No? Dev was here at the conference and said hello to me, and then he connected with me on LinkedIn, and he happens to be the victim for my slide. We're going to know more about Dev in this presentation. So Dev wants to talk to me. And so what we're going to imagine is that we're going to try and tell Dev what my presentation from yesterday is all about. And we're going to make sure that I come across as very professional and I know what I'm talking about. So what am I doing here? I'm asking ChatGPT here, deep research, to research this person. And the prompt is in the document I'm sharing with you. And I start out with who I'm talking to, because I want to make sure that I customize my line of questioning or the way I answer. I tailor it to the people I'm talking to. It's very important to keep your audience in mind. If you're a marketer, you know that, right? Who knows that? Yeah, it's very important. So take the prompt from my document and try it. You can try it on my profile too. And we're going to do something fun with that. So after I get the LinkedIn profile and I give it to AI here to perform deep research, right? Then I'm also going to give it my presentation or context, right? And then I'm going to ask ChatGPT to role play with me. And we're going to practice the pitch. And whether it is an interview or presentation or whatnot, I'm going to see if this is going to work. So essentially, I'm going to go and use the voice mode in ChatGPT. And I will ask it to go and role play with me. And it's going to ask me questions, and then I go in voice mode. And we'll talk about the reverse in a second, because you can both ask AI questions, and they will answer, or the inverse. And this is a really cool way to prepare. Let me see if I can pull this up here, and I hope this audio will work. Otherwise, you can always come by and I'll show it off stage too. Okay, Dev, I found Dev here. So I have his background, and let's see here. It's not the one. Ah, here you are. Okay. So I'm going to go and click on voice mode. And what I did already is I loaded my presentation from yesterday in here, as well as Dev's background. And let's see if this works. Hey, oh, wait. Hey, are you there?
I'm here. Let me know if you have any more questions or if there's anything else you want to explore.
Yeah, I want to know why someone like you would be interested in attending my talk.
Well, from Dev's perspective, I'd be interested in your talk because of your expertise in AI automation. It aligns perfectly with what I'm doing at Visery, especially when it comes to leveraging AI to streamline operations for agencies. Plus, learning about the latest innovations and how they can be applied to the fintech and creative industries would be really valuable.
Is there something I should tell him that would be particularly get him excited that he wants to tell everybody about our company?
I think highlighting how SmythOS can give agencies a competitive edge would be a strong angle. Emphasize how it can drastically reduce their workload, free them up for more creative tasks, and ultimately boost their profitability. If you can share a success story or two about how an agency transformed their workflow.
Thank you. So let's say Dev is in the audience and he's one of those people, you know? He raises his hands and asks like the toughest question, and I don't want to be embarrassed in front of this whole audience. Help me prepare such a question. What could Dev ask me that's really tough?
A tough question from Dev might be something like, in a market that's already saturated with automation tools, what makes SmythOS stand out from the competition? And how do you plan to maintain that edge in the long run?
That would be tough. Gosh, I don't know how I would answer that one. Can you suggest how I should answer that?
You could highlight what truly sets SmythOS apart. For example, you could mention its flexibility and the level of customization it offers compared to other tools. You could also emphasize the strong support and community around it and how it's built to evolve with emerging technologies.
Thank you. I think you guys got the point. I'm glad this worked. Now, what is so crazy about it is that you can practice the tough questions. And it is not just with your document now, but you're also talking to the person. You're role-playing the person you're going to talk to by applying deep research of the audience together with your material. And you can get real tough questions and real good answers. And so what I love doing is after I'm done, when you finish the voice conversation, ChatGPT will also give you like the answers you got back in the questions. And then I have one more prompt for ChatGPT, and it is to create me like a document, like a frequently asked questions document. Like, make me a document of all the questions and answers. And then I can read over it, I can rehearse it. But role-playing your interview, role-playing, meeting with investors, y'all, it can take you only one meeting to change your life. And some moments are high stakes. You will be prepared for your next one. So let's talk about Aria. Aria is our virtual CMO, and she already helped close $200,000 of new business in her first month. And her videos on YouTube have scored thousands of views in just like a week. Also, the most popular comment was like, "Is she real?" She's also going to be the host of several new academy courses that we're going to publish on the SmythOS site. She's going to teach people how to use it. And I want to show you a little bit about it. For example, she was participating in a call with a Japanese company where we had our entire hour-long sales pitch in Japanese. And we used HeyGen to translate or video in the local language. Now, why is this important? Well, there were 60 or 70 people on the call from that company, and they were very emotional afterwards. One of them said, like, we couldn't even ask questions because we were speechless. Like, American companies, they think everyone speaks English and nobody showed that kind of care. So you want to make international business, right? Consider their culture too and adapt to it. So here's I call it a trailer. I just took a few clips out of that. I want to show you guys what they experienced, what they saw. Just like a minute or so. And yeah, I don't speak Japanese for the record.
その動画では、エージェントウィーバーを使ってどのようにエージェントを作成したかを実演しています。しかし、このセッションでは、エージェントをエクスポートする方法についてもご紹介しました。
統合できるので、実際に既存のコードで使っている LLM のドロップイン代替として利用することもできます。それでは、皆さんがこれでエージェント LLM がどれほど強力で、どれだけ簡単に自分のコードに統合できるかがわかると思います。
SmithOS、このエコシステムの基盤として、エージェントの実行、連携、そして各機関への展開を支える役割を果たします。
Thank you, Arya. So that wasn't a Friday. On Monday, they signed a contract. All it takes sometimes, right? Some human connection, but with technology, we can do so much. And of course, yeah, thank you, Arya. Okay, so let's move on. We're going to go to a next growth hack. Those who record are remembered. And this is not the oldest photograph, but it was the oldest good-looking photograph. I believe the oldest one was perhaps like a rooftop in Paris or something, and it was like blurry cam. This one actually looks nice. They had a cart, a horse, and they went around the United States, I presume, taking photographs and some technology involving salt. But we have these photographs of what people looked like and how life looked like. And then there was a time before that. There was a time we have the oldest writings, and we study civilizations, and they wrote in clay tablets and what. We have that, right? And if we have that information around, it's like they existed. We can study them, and when before it, we just have to guess. And the same is true for audio, video recordings. Those who record are remembered. And it's easy for us to look back in time and say, oh yeah, that was those people. I have lots of selfies. I'm fine. But there's something coming in the future that's really cool too, and that's Superman. And I'm totally going to see that movie. It looks really cool. But the Fortress of Solitude. And so he can talk to his dead, lost relatives, and they're somehow recorded, and he can interact with them and so forth. Are we so far away from that with AI? What do you guys think? Are we so far away from that? You think AI can clone my voice? You think AI can generate a video that looks like me? You think an AI model, let's just say 5 years from now, will an AI model have difficulty learning on my talks I gave and come up with a way to talk the way I would have talked? It's not going to be me, but that's kind of that. And so I record everything. I record every meeting I'm in. Sometimes that's 10 meetings a day. I also started recording personal conversations with my kids, and then I store it in the cloud as well as on my network-attached storage system, because one day, I want to be like that photograph. I existed. I was here. Okay, you can write a book too. That's cool. But I don't have time to write books right now. So record everything. And so when you record everything, you can do really cool things. Here's my business coach. I paid my business coach $5,000 per session, and that session was a day. And they worked hard, and they were amazing. And I learned a lot of the things I know about running businesses from this business coach. But 6 sessions a year, 7 years, that's $210,000 in total investment. Anyone wants to learn what I learned for an affordable $210,000? I will tell you. Or we do it another way, and we ask AI for coaching help. Okay, so if you get the QR code and get to my document, I will share you all the prompts I use. Now, how do I use them? I take my meeting transcripts, give it to AI, and I ask my business coach prompts on how to improve what I'm doing. And the prompts are comprehensive. They're looking at all the different psychology angles, business formats to help me improve both my performance, my communication, as well as the team dynamics. So if you record, you can have AI be your business coach. Okay, if you record, you can also help salespeople, because salespeople, they love interacting with customers, but they hate data hygiene. They hate those filling in those customer forms and everything, and always have to remind them. But what we did at our business is we created a system that takes the transcript, and then we have an agent here. You can see the agent workflow. What does this agent workflow do? Well, it takes the transcript, and then it goes and looks at who was in the call. It gets the email addresses from Google Calendar. Then it looks at HubSpot and says, do we know these people? And it gets some background information if we do. Then it creates meeting summaries, next action items, things like that. And it will update HubSpot with the latest records. Then it will take the history of my interactions with this customer plus the transcript to figure out how to structure my follow-up communication. Because if you want to talk to someone, you need to know what you said in the past and what you just promised them. Not just one piece, but the whole 360-degree view. And then it will write draft emails, and then it will set it up ready in the email inbox for my salespeople. So all they have to do is review and click send. And that's it. So they literally go to a call, show up, do their thing, then end the call, and all the bookkeeping is done for them, and they can move on to the next call. This is what agents can do for you in your business. Now, I want to talk about the most beautiful word in marketing today. Ta-da! It's repurpose. And why is repurpose such a beautiful word? Well, repurpose it's kind of like recycling. It feels good when you do it. It's like, I recycle. Who here recycles? Lots of hands. Yeah, do you feel good when you recycle? You're helping the environment, you do your part. Well, repurpose is kind of like that, but with content, right? You find one purpose for it, where you made it for, and then you can repurpose it for more applications. And who here has a lot of spare time for creating content? No hands. Thought so. Well, neither do I. Repurposing content allows you to stay original and true to who you are, to your thoughts, your ideas, your voice, but create content. And this is how you stand out from AI-written content. So here's Repo Man. Repo Man is an agent that we built in our company. When I have like this performance here, it's recorded. Okay? This recording will go into Repo Man and will turn into blogs, social media posts, and lots more content formats. So get your champions on podcasts, feed the transcript or audio into an AI agent. You can also do it manually with AI yourself. If you think this is useful and you do it 100 times over, then create an AI agent. It's always fresh. It's the ultimate content workflow, and it comes with baked-in authority. So much fluff out there, People just generating whatever ChatGPT said. Write me a post about XYZ. But it's not you. But if you repurpose, it's you. Minus the work. So podcasts are repurposed gold. I just asked Google, I needed a screenshot for this slide, so I'm just like, hey, Google, tell me some podcast I was on. I appeared on like 40 podcasts last year. Okay, so I could sit down and write my posts, or I can appear on a podcast, and if I do, I reach that whole audience of that podcast show. For free. Free distribution. Their audience is now listening to what I have to say, or what you have to say. Then, after the podcast is over, the podcast host will promote their podcast. I get free marketing. But it doesn't stop there because I repurpose. So what do? I take the podcast transcript and I repurpose it. Give me tidbits, quotes, give me social media posts. It can even produce sometimes 1 or 2 good articles. So get on podcasts. There are services out there. It's called guesting. It's a thing, podcast guesting. And you should speak on podcasts. Why should you speak on podcasts? Well, because brand authority is everything. And you, individually you, are a brand. And so you need to make sure that you matter. So let's say that you needed an important surgery done. We're going to go with something like very serious, like you need heart surgery. Okay, Alexander, you have been diagnosed XYZ, you need heart surgery. Ooh, that's scary. Don't know much about that. So let me just like randomly pick a doctor. I'm going to go this one. No second opinion. No. Who does that? Nobody, right? Nobody ever. What are you going to do? You're going to ask your friends, who do you trust? You're going to get a second opinion. Yes? That is authority. And authority is your currency. Your currency as marketers is your authority. If you work for a company and you byline an SEO article that's on that site, you now become associated with this company. You now become associated with this content. My grandfather said that, tell me who your friends are, I will tell you who you are. Very simple. That is true in marketing too, who you associate with. Investors will ask, who's on your team? That's authority. Why did Ilya and Mira from OpenAI get billion-dollar valuation companies before shipping a product? Why? I have to work really hard. I don't get billion-dollar valuations for not shipping anything. Why did they get that valuation? Who here has a billion-dollar startup? Would you like to have a billion-dollar startup without shipping anything yet? Why did they get billion-dollar valuations? And it's more than 1 billion. Anyone wants to guess? Network? Anyone else? Authority. Yeah, network and authority are very close together, right? Authority. They were part of ChatGPT's launch. So, of course, they're authorities. I want to invest in authorities. Are you an authority? I'm going to show you how you can grow your authority in the eyes of the algorithms that are going to be the judge whether your content shows or not. Here's a growth hack. Featured.com. Featured.com will let you ask people, experts, to give you little quotes. So let's say you have an article and you want your article to be elevated in authority. Google says this is not just AI-generated glob. Somebody made the effort here. Real humans are behind this. Real experts are behind this. You go to feature.com. Well, what I do is I take my article, I throw it in AI, I say, give me questions that only human experts could answer about this topic. Right off the bat. AI thinks AI is not a good source. you need to go to the experts. So it gives me good questions already, right? I go to feature.com, I put those questions in the system, and for every question I publish, I get 10, 20, 30 plus people, experts, answering that question. Then I have somebody on my team go through it, pick the best ones, and I throw 3 to 5 quotes in my article. Boom. Why is this valuable? Their authority is now associated with my site authority. Just like that. And if I start quoting you in my article, maybe you want to tell your friends, hey, I got quoted. Maybe I'll get social media links and validation from it as a bonus. So add those quotes to your article, and you have instant expertise, experience, authority, trust, and they will be notified, and they will share you on social media. It's almost like a Sith Lord trick or something, right? But I like to do the inverse too, because I like to be quoted as an authority on other websites. So how do I do this? Because I have little time. So I have my team go through questions on feature.com that other people are asking, where I can quote. They assemble like 20 questions a week, and then they send that to me on Sunday, and then I have some time throughout the week to respond. But I don't have time to sit down and think through how I would answer. So I do it like a real influencer, like Kim Kardashian, something like that. I hit that little record button in Google Workspace, and it translates it to text. It transcribes it. And I read the questions, and I'm in free flow. I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm not trying to format it for social media or inclusion in quotes or anything. I just speak my mind. Here's what I think about this. How about that? All right, there was once upon a time. And I just go on. And it takes me about half an hour to get through like 20 questions or so. And then when I'm done, my answers, the transcript, my team takes that and repurposes that into good quotes. I don't have to spend time on it. And if you wanted to automate it, I'm sure you can build an agent to do it as well. I'm not comfortable quite yet to let agents publish quotes on behalf of me quite yet. I still want a human in the loop. But we submit answers I give to expert questions all the time, and I get quoted all over the web for 30 minutes a week. That's all it takes. And repurpose magic, that's the thing. So then, what should you talk about in your industry? Well, social media will tell you what's trending. And one thing I like about Reddit is it's divided in subreddits, and subreddits are like, think of them as fan clubs, like it's specific to a certain domain. So in that domain, people are going to post interesting stuff to people of that domain. All right, so you don't have to guess what are people that are into makeup into right now, what is hot for this or what is hot for that, because that subreddit will already filter the most important new stuff for you. So you don't have to guess, just go look at Reddit. And yes, you can build an agent to do that too. If you want to do that with Reddit, Rapid API has some good APIs you can put in your agent. But yeah, Reddit will tell you what's interesting. But if you stop there, you miss the point. Because narrative hacking is the coolest stuff. And here goes like, it's like the Matrix movie. I'll show you how deep the rabbit hole goes, because this rabbit hole goes one layer deeper than most people go. Not only will social media tell you what's hot and trending, but people are actually responding with comments. And you know, the content itself, the posts, the source, the link, whatever, will give you the information. But you know what it doesn't give you? What does it not give you? It doesn't tell you how people feel about it. The comments do. And I've seen hilarious comments. I don't know if you've seen these videos. They're so wrong, but they're also so addicting to watch and so funny. but these roast videos on YouTube where they like make a song out of the roasted comments that people post, it's hilarious, but so wrong. Don't watch it. Not recommended. But it's funny. But that is exactly what you're missing in your AI content strategy. Because you already know the subject, you already know the paper you want to write about, but what you're often missing is the human angle, maybe the funny, hilarious take on it. I think, okay, so I'll give an example. There was a LinkedIn post bragging about how the people at XAI were sleeping in tents in the office to work 7 days a week to beat Google and OpenAI and everything, and how hard they were working and how their benchmark showing Grok 4, which is surely going to release any day now, was going to apparently crush the benchmarks. And the poster had this take on it, that the reason Grok was going to be so amazing is because all these millions of people are using Twitter to interact with it. And so I commented, I said, well, that data set must look very impressive. It consists like 90% of at Grok, is this true? Okay, one person laughed, that's good. So, you know, that wouldn't be an amazing data set, right? If 90% of my data was at Grok, is this true? So I kind of like countered a bit the argument of the post just with some humor, right? It was tongue-in-cheek humor, but it was humor nonetheless. And sure enough, I've made comments like that where my comment got more upvotes than the post itself. Okay, so where's the real content, ladies and gentlemen? Is it in the information on the top, or is it in the comment threads? Okay, so how do you use this? Well, I scroll and I copy-paste everything, and I give it to the AI, and I say, well, don't just write about the topic, but write about it in a human way that will resonate using ideas and concepts from the comments. And what you're going to get out of it, it is just pure content gold. If you're worried about AI not being original or not human enough, just show how humans react to it. At least before the dead internet theory makes all the comments AI generated too. Okay. So these are a number of growth hacks that I wanted to share with you guys today. Remember, I shared this with you yesterday. Use the coupon conference, all caps, on SmithOS, and try to build your own agent. All you have to do is type in what you want to build, let SmithOS Agent Weaver build it for you. If you're asking a simple use case, it will just immediately work out of the box. It's a bit more complex, you may have to hook up an API or two. Still more complex, you get stuck, just ask for help on Discord. We have a helpful community. Also, if you think you were entertained and learned something, do me a favor. If you have a GitHub profile, leave our open source project a star. This really helps. And for most importantly, say hello and follow. My social media pages are there. And yeah, we have a booth. Come talk to us. It'll be a pleasure. I think we have some time for questions, and I know you guys have many questions. Yesterday we had a good amount of questions. Also, I love this MC. That MC brought a lot of energy. You guys like the MC? I like the MC. Let's give him an applause too, right? Right? Okay. But right now, this amazing MC is walking around with the orange cube of death. It's also called the icebreaker.
Yes, who would like to speak into a square cube, a little orange cube here? Any questions whatsoever?
It's like the Minions, the cube, or
It's
something like that.
cube.
Or was it, no, that was Toy Story? Was it Toy Story?
Oh, wait, I have
they're
someone
having
who would like me to, no, I'm not going to do that. Here, I will gently pass you the cube.
So my question is, are you automating how to find different podcasts to speak on? Or how are you going about that?
Okay, so there's two strategies I've used with this. One, I have in the past worked with people who professionally try to be matchmakers, and they find a podcast to be on. The second way is there are platforms that you can subscribe to, and you add your profile, and the podcast people will find you, and they will just send you connection requests. Now, there's a quantity element to it and a quality element, okay? Yes, I want to be on the Lex Friedman podcast. Lex Friedman, if you're watching this, I hope you were entertained. I would love to be on your podcast. If anyone here else has a podcast, I will also come on your podcast, even if you have a small one. There's a quantity aspect to it, and there's a quality aspect to it. And it's also who you want to be associated with. So if you can all think about some podcasts you don't want to be on, right? Okay.
I love that question. And by the way, my company does connect people with podcasts.
Well, look at that.
See, that's why I'm on TV once a week. I put my company work for me. But that was just a little subtle drop about
Does
my
he work for
awesomeness.
you too? That was a perfect layup.
You like that?
Yeah.
Exactly. Who else has a perfect layup of a question? Because we could use it right now. All right, we got one over here from...
We got to do like a raffle for the
Nathan.
people brave enough to ask questions.
They get a prize.
I really like what you do, and it makes me think. And while I'm thinking, I'm also thinking about the negatives, right? So how do you maintain quality data going into your AI models, for example? So let's say you have a bad day and you're recording yourself. Does that now shift all the data to make you now it spits out a bad version of you? Like, how do you maintain it's authentically you, or the good you, or...
Yeah.
Never record on a bad day.
So like, what? Let me just answer it maybe with the Socratic method, maybe, but would a version of me that never has a bad day be authentically me? Whoa. Okay, a really, really bad day. Okay, well,
I'm
there's
really
always...
concerned about Nathan's day right now. That's the real concern.
I will tell you this. There is this fascinating thing I've come to appreciate, is that, sometimes I'm in like a meeting with like my co-founders or with a board, and then I'm in a meeting with like employees or with public, and there's definitely like a version of Alexander that like the public doesn't get to see, right? There's like a version of me that's like at home with the family, and then there's a version at work of me that like it doesn't always like mix, right? And I think all you have to worry about at this stage is just record everything, but just like put it in like folders or tag it properly. This is me at work, this is me at home, this is me having a bad day. I don't know. And if later on you want to train AI on that data set, just say, train a version of me that never has a bad day or never has a really, really bad day.
Ooh, that's deep. Do we have any other deep questions from people who have days worse than Nathan only? It has to only be people. Do you have a bad day today? It's okay. We'll let you ask the question anyway. Don't be shy. Just talk into the weird box. It's definitely not awkward.
Thank you for the presentation. I had a question about the comments thread. How can that help you achieve your goals, like promoting your page or product? And has it proven to be successful?
Okay, that's a good question. I think when it comes to marketing, we have to understand who we're marketing to. If you're marketing to other agents, it works differently than if you market, or robots, it's different if you market to humans. But we're still marketing to humans, right? And so the question we ask ourselves is like, why do people click? Why do people click? Why do they want to engage with content to begin with? Is it just because we are robots and we want the information from the page? No. We also want to be moved. We want to be inspired. Why do people share content? What's the last post you shared? And why did you share it? If I share it, I'm going to look so smart. Everyone's going to see I follow these really complicated things. This is the same reason, if you look at a bookshelf like behind me, if you ever see me like on camera at work or something and I have like a bookshelf behind me, I put like a mathematics book there that has like math way beyond what I can understand. And so like people see that book and they think, ooh, he's so smart. But people share because they want to feel something, not just for the information. So what do comments do? Comments will add that human element because people already express how they feel in relation to that topic. And so by infusing that, what are you doing? Imagine you come to me after this conference with like a big smile. Hi, Alexander. You're there with a big smile. You're awesome. And I stand there, all stern looking at you. Right? That doesn't work, right? There's something wrong here. So if you like someone, what do? You mirror their emotion. If you come at me, you're sad, you're crying, you had a bad day, it's not appropriate for me to be all like happy and smiling in front of you. I need to have empathy. And so the common thread is like empathy, but for our content. We can infuse it with that. And that means we're going to have more shares, more engagement, more authenticity. Good?
All right.
Thank you.
Everyone, come on, Alexander. He inspired me to be a better person. Good old Alexander.